Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Game Pass. I'm Nathan. Today I'm going to tip this Game Pass games with your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Infernax. Does anyone remember Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest? That was the real first Dark Souls and Metroidvania game, except it was kind of awful. What if it was good? Let's see if Infernax answers that question. Infernax is a PC and Xbox cross-release that does feature cross-save. On the Xbox, it is Series X upgraded. To the best of my knowledge, it is for a better frame rate, but this is a retro-style pixel game, so your mileage may vary, and the game will last you anywhere between 5 to 10 hours depending on your tolerance for difficulty. So what exactly is Infernax? Well, it's a throwback 2D Metroidvania platformer that draws heavy inspiration from both Castlevania 2 and Zelda 2 Adventures of Link, both NES games. You play as the Baron Alcidor, back from Crusade or something, to find your kingdom basically infested with cursed evil monsters, the biggest of which is locked up in a chonky castle with 5 orbs sealing it. You probably already know what you have to do to beat this then. Traverse the world, enter 5 different castles, kill the bosses, and shatter the orb to unlock the final battle. Along the way, the game follows basic Metroidvania styles, with you unlocking new abilities that open new pathways, like a high jump or the ability to destroy cracked rocks. Additionally, you'll gain both money and XP, the former used to purchase spells and gear upgrades, and the latter for leveling up either damage, health, or mana. While it honestly doesn't do a ton to stand out from other Metroidvanias mechanically, what certainly stands out is Infernax's difficulty. It is absolutely NES brutal, even with a live system that allows you to restart a screen with full health and mana a set number of times. The game has bonfire equivalents, where you can both save, level up, and be fully healed, though on normal difficulty, should you die, you lose everything since your last save. There is an easier mode, which adds save points inside castles, as well as letting you keep a small amount of XP and gold since your last save, but that doesn't change the fact that enemies hit like battering rams and you'll need to gear up and get good. The game has an interesting morality system as well, with a plethora of side quests opening up whether you want to save the kingdom's denizens or be a huge jerk to them. This not only changes some of the endings, but also what spells you can get, amongst other things. Combat is pretty basic with the aforementioned spells and gear, though one neat trick is the Adventure of Link style shield, which can block most physical projectiles. Even more than combat though, I'd argue platforming is more prominent, with the game being absolutely vicious when it comes to some jumping requirements and puzzles. Castle 4 was absolute platforming nightmare, perfectly in line with the game's NES inspiration. And that's basically it. Expect a throwback art style mixed with some modern Metroidvania goodness. So what do I like about Infernax? Well, mechanically, this is an extremely solid Metroidvania, with clever and challenging castles, lots of neat side quests, and perfect pace of getting new things as you progress forward. Additionally, the aesthetics are right on the money for being a Castlevania 2 style throwback, with fantastic music, great visuals, a day-night cycle even, and particularly grotesque flair that I enjoyed. Lastly, the game is pretty addicting. Since you earn XP and money for basically doing anything, there's a lot of one more side quest or one more castle thing going on. When it comes to the bad, the difficulty will absolutely turn some people away. While I didn't find it as hard as some other tough as nails platformers like Slain Back from Hell or Valphyrus, the platforming in particular is going to elicit some rage. The game does have a fair bit of repetition, particularly traversing the world map. You don't get the teleport spell until after the 3rd dungeon, assuming you find it, which means you're going to be rewalking a lot of locations, and that does get a little tedious. And lastly, it doesn't do anything particularly exceptional to stand out amongst the throng of Metroidvanias that exist, aside from its Castlevania 2 influences. This is bog standard Metroidvania in execution. As you know, I keep sharing a 3-point scale. Must play, maybe consider, don't bother. I do think Infernax is a maybe consider, but I absolutely think it is a hidden gem. If you're nostalgic for the old NES exploration platformers like Castlevania 2 and Zelda 2 Adventure of Link, this game will scratch that itch perfectly. It looks the part, plays like a modernized version of that, and has a difficulty to match that infamous NES hard should you wish it. Those less nostalgic can certainly have a good time still, though the game doesn't really do anything particularly exceptional besides being, well, completely solid. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and go out there and enjoy Infernax.